Okay, now we're going to talk about the types of fuel injections. We've got mechanical, injection pump, BOSCH, CIS, the electric, throttle body, port fuel injection, sequential direct injection system. And you got diesel in here somewhere. Here's our injection pump. You can find some diesels. Usually running at much higher pressure than gasoline engines. BOSCH CIS systems. Here you have the fuel filter, accumulator, the electric pump, and sometimes they have two pumps. Alright, but this is a BOSCH setup. They have a flapper door. This is the old Volkswagen, Volvo's distributor system. They had that little flapper door inside a little accumulator. The fuel distributor. That's an old version. Here's another BOSCH CIS system also. It's like a Mercedes. Could be wrong. Yeah, it's a Mercedes, yeah. Throttle body injection. T.B.I. Sits right on the center intake manifold. You can see what sprays its fuel at. Look, there's a 1, 2. I actually never seen 1, 2, 3, 4 injectors on a throttle body. There's usually 1 or 2. This is interesting. But this is throttle body, 4 injectors, sprays fuel in the center intake manifold, right above the throttle plate. Now, remember this. These locations are going to be important on the test. Port fuel injection. The guy's spraying right behind the intake valve. You see that? Here's the lower intake. Here's the injectors. It's spraying fuel right in the intake, right into that lower intake, right behind the valve. Intake valve. It's another port fuel injection setup. This is airflow. You would think it's throttle body, but it's not. Just throttle plates for airflow. The injectors over here. Port injection here and here. Port fuel injection. Now they all like their port injection because they located it, but they actually fire it differently. The whole system, all injectors fire at the same time. I mean, all of them. V8, V6, all on fire. Bank fuel injection, they fire half the injectors fire each revolution. Okay, so half will fire on one revolution, other half fires other revolution. Now, between the whole and the bank systems, even though they fire in this way, the whole system fire them all at the same time, and the bank, one bank every on each revolution. The fuel is just being accumulated, so when the intake valve opens up, the gas is there. It sounds strange, but that's how they're doing it. That's a short version of it. Sequential fire injection, they fire the injectors individually, usually with the firing order, especially Fords, Mustangs. But sequential fuel injection fires the injectors individually, usually with the firing order. It's not like bank injection, where half the injectors are fired each revolution. These are fired individually fired, and it's usually with the firing order. Here's a diagram of a bank injection system. I know it's hard to see, but the injectors are right here. That's a 4-cylinder, right? Here, see the color wires going to be different here, and this one. Like I said, they fire with the revolution, every other revolution. One revolution, one set fires. The next revolution, the other set fires. That's bank injection. Here's sequential injectors that fire individually. Now it's hard to see. Where are they? Right here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4. It's kind of strange. Usually see them on V8s. You can see the voltage is constant to all of them, but down here they have individual drivers. So they are fired individually. Now look at direct fuel injection. Here's ported, old style, right behind the intake valve. Here's direct, right above the piston. Now I want you to understand the difference between T.B.I, port, and direct fuel injection is the locations where they're being fired at. Okay? This is fired right above the piston. This is fired, port is fired right behind the intake valve. Right, and throttle body, like you've seen earlier. Oops. And throttle body, like we've seen earlier, is right above the throttle plate. The difference between the two, you need to remember, is the location when they're being fired at. It's just different locations. Here's again direct fuel injection. You got your valves, plug, and the injector firing right on top of the piston, under the valves. A diesel fuel injection pump. Block mounted time distribution pumped. Common rail, all injectors feed together. Hydraulic electric unit injectors. Here's the pump. Remember I said earlier they fire at higher pressure. Here's a common rail, as you can see here. Here's the rail, and all these are injectors. It's another setup for the injectors, the common rail. It's another diagram of it. Hold on, I get some water. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. Look at this. Fuel pressure, 40 to 210 bars. That's a lot of pressure. Remember, the diesel has higher fuel pressure than gasoline engines. One bar is 14.50 psi. Let me see if I can find a calculator for this. So it says 40 bars. Let's put 40 bars in this. What we get? 580 psi. That's a lot of pressure. And the maximum of 210. 3045 psi. Now you know when you work on diesel or anything with high fuel pressure like this, even direct injection is higher. You gotta have your safety glasses on and relieve the pressure before you crack that line. Direct injection, diesels all have high fuel pressures. Okay, so what I want you to know by now, you should know by now, that diesels are higher fuel pressure, sequential injection fired individually, bank fires with the revolution, and the difference between the injection systems is their location. That's one of the difference, is their location. Any questions, hit me up in class, or email me, Facebook, social media. Peace, I'm out.